welcome to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore. I am your host, and today's show is entitled Gone, Baby Gone, When to Let Go of Your Manuscript. Before we get into the show, I just want to give out the URL. It is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. Social media, my Facebook account is https://www.facebook.com/Vivian E. Moore. And my Twitter handle is God's Property 46. And also, if you want to check out my webpage, that web address is http://vivianemore.wix.com/author Vivian E. Moore. Oh, welcome to today's show. I'm excited. It's another beautiful weekend. And I hope everyone is having a great weekend after coming off the long weekend from last week with the holiday, the Labor Day holiday. So now we're going to move on to today's program. And I just want to share with you an essay that I wrote about, I guess it was about 3 years ago, but it goes along well with what we're going to be talking about today. So here we go. Whenever I begin a new project, I liken it to an expectant mother. From the moment of conception, you hope that the life growing inside of you will grow up to be great. The entire time you're nurturing and feeding it, implementing ideas of what it will one day become. Every available moment is dedicated to the life developing inside of you up until the moment of the impending delivery. That moment of anticipation when true labor begins and you experience a bittersweet moment because you pray that you've done everything humanly possible to ensure its survival. For years, you've tirelessly and lovingly, if not painstakingly, put all that you are into it, readying it for the world. Until that day comes, you realize you must let go. No longer do you control the situation, and you worry and ask yourself, did I do all that I could do to prepare it for the world? You fret, praying that others will see and receive the toils of your labor. The expectations for this new life are great. Even at the last moment, you doubt, feeling unsure, although you've done everything possible to produce something magnificent, possessing quality, and that will be successful. So, after you spit-shined it, tidied up every loose end in preparation for its debut to the world, you breathe a long sigh of relief, letting go of the doubt and fear simply because you've been trusted one of your dearest possessions to someone else's hands. However, that's when the reassurance of your faith kicks in, because you know with loving, tender hands, you have instilled in this project the qualities that you possess. Positive, your labor has not been in vain. Then comes graduation day, and you start to realize that you were successful because of your diligence and belief, seeing the fruit of that planted seed starting to sprout up to become everything you hoped it could be. And that was entitled Gone, Baby Gone. It was another one of my essays, and I just wanted to share that because, as I said before, it does tie in with what we're going to be talking about on today's show. I hope that that we have some that are listening live, and if you're not, you surely can wait until the episode has been downloaded or uploaded in that case, and listen to it, to the recorded version. But now we're off to the show, and I just want to talk a little bit about when it's time to let go of your manuscript. I know that it is very precious, and it's much like the essay that I just read to you, because it is something that is very close to you. I often think of my manuscripts like I did when I was pregnant with my babies. From conception, I loved and I nurtured them. At that first flutter inside of my womb, or the brain in this case, it created an unbreakable emotional bond. For months, the excitement, it built until the day that I realized it was time. You are full term and the impending birth is at hand. I have really sometimes compared letting go of one of my manuscripts to being a parent. I mean, it goes hand in hand, because as a parent, we are very protective of our children. And as a writer, we're very protective of our projects, of our manuscripts, because it's a part of us. It's something that has been created from us. And so we just can't give it over to just anybody. Sometimes it's hard to let go. And I remember when my children were school age, and it was the first day of kindergarten. All the memories of cutting the apron strings and sending them off into this mean, cruel world. And that's the reality of it. One of the hardest things I've ever done, and did it 4 times, in fact, because I have 4 children. And I thought that it would get easier after sending the first one off. However, no. The emotion of letting go was exactly the same every single time. Much like releasing our children into the world, writing novels and turning them over to publishers, it feels the same for me. I don't know about you, but I stress out. I mean, like crazy. Especially right before the book hits the airwaves, it hits the bookstores, however, whatever, way that it's going to be released. You get nervous because you still have those scary moments, because as I said before, sometimes we are our own worst critics, and we will worry ourselves to death. But you worry about things like, is the editing perfect? Is the storyline intriguing enough? Will the characters create an emotional partnership between them and the readers? Not so much about will my book hit the bestsellers list. This would be nice when that happens. But for me, it is not the greatest concern. Again, my focus is on writing and putting out great stories. I am a firm believer that if things are meant to be, they will come to pass. And I trust and I believe in that wholeheartedly. As writers, we've all experienced the after effects of letting go of our beloved stories. The doubt and the fear of, did I do my best or give my all? At the same time, we are excited but riddled with anxiety. It courses through our veins as we realize the toils of our labor is finally over. And that is, it correlates so perfectly with giving birth to a child. with the conception, and then when you feel that first flutter inside of you, and then as the time goes along and you get to that term when it's time for the baby to come into the world. And writing is a lot like that. It really is, because it's something that you toil over, that from the very first idea, when that very first idea is conceived in your brain, and you sit down to write, to pound out a story. That it takes a long while, to tell a great story, to make sure that all the details are in place, that you've just written the best story that you can. But uncertainty of sharing our thoughts and ideas with the world, it sometimes overrules what we know is a job well done. And then after you get over the anxiety of letting go, or the emptiness syndrome, you move on to the next phase, which is new ideas for another story, God willing, and or as I like to term things, more children. Because I do think of my writing as my children. My writings, my books, my manuscripts are so precious to me, and I just don't want to release them just into the hands of just anybody. And much like your children, you want to make sure that you've done your homework on before you send them out, or whether you're sending them to daycare every day, or you've got someone that's coming inside of the home to babysit. You want to make sure that you've done your homework on these, on these people, on these individuals, on these businesses that take care of your children while you are away from home. You want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. You want to make sure that what they're offering is perfect for you. It fits you. And much like when you're writing and you release your book to publishers, you want to make sure that you check the track history of these publishers. You want to make sure that they've been around for a while, and that they are not some fly-by-night business that will just get your work and murder it. But where do we go from here after we've labored over a story for months and sometimes years? We love it, but will the world love it too? We hope. There is always the fear of carbon copying, creating the same story over again. As a romance writer, the premise is the same. Two people meet, they fall in love, and have their happy ever after. But you have to come up with new ideas to change how you tell the story and make it different. That, as I say, or as they say, is the rub. We as writers we're creative geniuses. We have the gift, despite our own self-reservations of the fear of running out of plot lines and fresh ideas. I love telling stories, but most of all, I love sharing them. I love doing this weekly show and coming up with catchy taglines. It's very exciting. I love challenges. They are important as well. It keeps me motivated and on point. The imagination is a very powerful tool. It allows us the freedom of expression, to share images invisible until we pound out these stories by way of a keypad, giving them life and meaning. My mission is it's often stated um, as as I've often stated, is to motivate, to uplift, and to inspire. I want to share my ideas, all that goes into being successful, not only by seeing our dreams to fruition, but by passing the knowledge and the insight we hold on to. We want to pass them on to others. If I can leave behind just one useful thing in this life, it is to hope that in some great or small way that I've inspired someone to never give up, never give in to the negativity of this world, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthen us if we trust and believe it is possible. That is one of the most important things that I live by on a daily basis. My faith and my trust in God, my Christianity, that keeps me going, that keeps me writing. I thank God every day for the gift of creativity, because it is a wonderful gift. It is something that I don't selfishly keep to myself, but I share it in every way that I can. And doing this show is one way that I can give back. Um, what I've learned, I share. What I know about the business, I share. What I know about writing, I share. What I know about being an author, I share. That's what it's all about. It's not about trying to make this climb all by yourself. You want to bring on as many other people as you can, because it's a team effort. For me, it is. I don't see myself as trying to rise up by myself. So if I can help somebody else, if I can help them make it up the ladder of success even before I get there, then I'm happy, because that is my mission. That is my goal for doing this show on a weekly basis. For writing, I just want to share what I love the most, and not necessarily in this order, but writing is definitely in the top 3 of the list of what I love the most. And doing this show is coming up right behind it. I look forward every week to coming up with new titles and new ideas for the show. And I know that the show is very short, but I hope that in this time frame that I've said something that's useful to you in your pursuit for success. And I hope that that you will pay it forward like I'm trying to do, that you will reach back and grab someone else, that you will try to uplift their spirits by encouraging them to not give up, to keep writing. Maybe they've been working on a project for a very long time and they just keep pushing it back to the back burner because they feel as though it's not going anywhere. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to stop working on one project and move on to another until the creativity for or the vision for whatever the other project was starts to flow again. Because we want to put forth our best. We want to give our best in everything that we do, and you have to be consistent. You really do. You can't just put anything out there, because you have to remember that is your brand. Your name is on it, and that's what people will remember. Not who the publisher was, but who wrote the book. So that is something to most definitely think about. We are coming down here to the last minutes of the show, and before it started, I was having some technical difficulties. I don't know what was going on with the mechanics of the show, but I guess with anything, you have ghosts in the system, you have bugs in the system, and sometimes things don't go to plan. And that's the same way with writing. Everything is not going to go the way that you want it to, but you just have to trust and believe that in the end you will get there. I know sometimes it is a hard and long road to travel with a lot of up and coming artists, because that's what we are. We are artists. We write words that we hope have meaning, to change people's lives, to empower them in some small or great way, to encourage. I love writing, and I love writing romance. I love talking about relationships, because I feel like that's where my strength is in writing about relationships. Now, I love a wide genre of a different kind of stories. I like sci-fi, and I like Christian novels. I like horror. I like contemporary writers. I like Victorian writers, historical writers. I love historical books, and so I have a great collection of a great many books that I try to read on a daily basis. Which, I've talked about who my favorite author is right now, and everybody that has ever listened to my show know that it is Diana Gabaldon, the Outlander series. I can't really talk about her enough. Her technique is just, oh my gosh, it is just so perfect. I love the way this woman tells stories. And when I grow up, I want to be just like her. But I'm pretty sure that she knows that she has changed the lives of so many writers, because I know that she's changed the way I write. I don't try to emulate her, because she has her own personal style of how she writes. And that's what we need to do as writers. We need to perfect our own perfect style, and not try to copy from someone else. But it's good to have those writers as patterns, something to go by, a roadmap, because it's very useful. So read as many books as you can, because knowledge is power, and it can only help you. It'll help you grow as a writer, as an author. You need to read as many books as you can before you ever sit down to write that first paragraph on paper. Like I said, I don't do flow charts. When I sit down to write, everything is a mental thing. I see in my mind's eye what I want to say, how I want to set the story up, and then it flows by what the characters tell me to write. I've said that many times before too. They are my guide. I listen to them, and they've never failed me yet. Interesting thing is, I read on Facebook, because I like a lot of the things that are posted out there. Some are very spiritual, but they are always very uplifting. And it was another author that was out there, and he's a best-selling author. And he was saying pretty much what I said before, that he listens to the characters. They tell him what to write. And that's important, that you let the characters dictate how the story goes. Again, I hope that my little essay today and the little chat that we had was inspiring to someone. I hope that I said something that maybe they can just piggyback on and add to, because what I say is not the end all to every discussion, but I hope that it is a discussion starter, to help you to use as a guide along your way. That's the whole purpose of me doing my show on a weekly basis. And as I said before, I love to get feedback from you guys, and I know that you're listening because I do look at the stats to see who has listened to the show, and I thank you so very much for doing that. I appreciate that because again, that inspires me. Encourages me to keep going, to keep doing this show on a weekly basis, to keep challenging myself, to keep pushing myself to do better, and to be great at what I do. That should be a daily challenge for everybody, no matter what it is, whether you're a writer or whatever it is you do. You need to push yourself, to challenge yourself on a daily basis, to just keep moving, keep growing. Because in the end, I promise you, it will be so well worth it. It really will. Because whether you realize it or not, there's somebody watching. There's always someone watching you to see what you're doing and how you do it. And you want to be consistent in what you do. Always put forth your best efforts in everything you do, no matter what it is. And I was just having this discussion today, and I was saying that you have to be consistent. And who I am as a person, what I do on a daily basis, whether it's getting up to go outside of the house, to go to work, I'm consistent with that. And it carries over to myself, to what I do as a writer, as an author. Doing this radio show, I want to be, if there's a specific time for something to start, I want to make sure that it starts at that time every single time. I know sometimes there are issues that prevent us from being on schedule, but to keep as close to the schedule as you can, because like I said, consistency is important. And whether you realize it or not, again, people are watching what you do, how you do it, because they like consistency. They don't like wishy-washy. And that's what I try to put forth in what I write. I want to make sure that every single time I write a story and I release that story to the world, I want to make sure that it is perfection. And I know that perfection is hard because, none of us are Christ Jesus. We cannot walk on water. But we can put forth our best efforts in everything we do. And if we treat our stories, our manuscripts, our books, like we do our children, like we do as parents, to love and nurture them, these stories are the same way. We put so much of who we are into these stories. And just to give them a good start, to give them a great start, because just like our children, we want to see them from kindergarten all the way through college. We want to see them be successful. That's the same thing we want to see for the projects that we put forth in our writing. That's important to me, and you may not agree with me, but that's just how I feel about it. I see things from a different point of view sometimes, but I don't think it's that far-fetched that you can't grasp what I'm saying, that you can't see in some way that it all correlates. But again, I have enjoyed so much talking with you today, and I hope that you do download the episode today's episode, Gone Baby Gone. And I gave out the URL for my Spreaker account, and also I gave out the web address for my social media, and also my web address. Just drop me. I don't think I gave out my email address, and so I want to give that to you. That is Vivian E. Moore at iCloud.com. So you have many ways of reaching out to me, even if we can't do the live chats right now. But just like me on Facebook whenever you see the episodes. Like me on Twitter. Most certainly like me on Spreaker, because that's important to me. it's important to the show because I would love to see it. And also, I'm on Instagram. You can check out my Instagram as well, and just look at the pictures. That was the one that I forgot to give you the web address to, but I'll get that one out to you next Saturday if it's the Lord's will. Again, I have enjoyed spending this small time, the short time with you today, and I hope that you will tune in to the show every Saturday at 6 p.m. I try to make sure that I bring you something that's uplifting and lively, and something that that you will enjoy, because I surely have enjoyed it. I need your ideas. It's important to me to know what you think, and what you would like to hear on the show. Just drop me an email, if you will, to let me know. You can leave comments. If you listen to the episodes on Spreaker, you can definitely leave your comments and tell me what you like and what you don't like and what you would like to hear, because feedback is important. I like I said before, I can deal with criticism, as long as it is constructive criticism. Well, we're coming down to the last few minutes of the show. I hope that you will keep everything that I've said in mind, that you will listen to the show and share it with your friends. Let them listen to it and ask them to share it with their friends, because word of mouth is still the best advertisement you can have. Well, guys, it's been fun. It's been great. Until next Saturday at 6 p.m., I thank you and God bless.